Yeah, this coffee doesn't have a straw, so I can't do the slurping thing. I'm sorry, guys. We'll try again next week. What's up, you guys? It's the girl who graduated college a couple months ago and is now having intense FOMO because everybody else is posting back to school videos and I'm not, because I'm not going back to school, which both makes me happy and sad. Happy because I don't have to go back to school, sad because I don't get to do all the fun back to school prep. Otherwise known as Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am a recent college graduate. Branded myself as a college YouTuber for the past 3 years, and now I've graduated. Honestly, thank God, because it's about time. I'm relieved. However, something I actually enjoyed about college was making the back to school videos. And before I even did YouTube, that's just something I enjoyed about school in general, whether it was literally elementary, middle, high school, or college. I loved the back to school prep. I loved the supply shopping. All of it was so much fun to me. The good thing is those videos and every other college video I ever made, whether it was a college vlog or a sit down video or a haul or literally anything, is all in my college playlist. I will link that playlist down below. Those videos still apply, like the supplies hauls and stuff. Everything still applies now. So if you're looking for, you know, what school supplies you should get, you can watch one of those videos. So of course, I, being a graduate now, have some thoughts on various aspects of college. I actually asked you guys on my Instagram story yesterday to ask me any questions that you would want me to answer from like a post-grad perspective. Today, I have prepared a list of my best and worst purchases that I made specifically for college. I wanted to share with you my personal experiences and my personal opinions on some of the things that I bought. Some of them were expensive, some of them weren't, and some of them will be unpopular opinions. I'll tell you obviously why everything was either the best or the worst. I'm gonna give you guys my brutally honest opinions. This video also is not sponsored, so when I mention specific brands or products or anything in this video, they're not paying me. These are all my honest opinions. Also, I went to 2 different schools. Let me give you guys my credentials really quick. The first college I went to was a massive public university with like 40,000 students. I went to Temple University for the first 2 years. I was an accounting major, I was a general business major, and I also lived on campus. So I lived in a suite style dorm the first year, and then second year I lived in an apartment style building. So I had tons of roommates. I did the whole on-campus living thing, I did the living away from home thing, and I did the big school thing. And then I transferred to a much smaller school, literally a fraction of the size, and I lived at home and I commuted. So I also was a commuter and I also went to a small school. So I have a lot of experience. I think I'm gonna start with the worst things. I always like to end on a good note. You know what I mean? Let's get into it. Some of y'all are about to be real mad at me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think anyone's gonna give a fuck. First thing I wrote down for the worst category is the North Face backpack that I showed in my first ever what's in my backpack / college school supplies haul video. Yeah, I was in love with it because of the colors. I was going more for fashion here than functionality, because let me tell you, after using this backpack for a year, I only used it for 1 year, my sophomore year of college at Temple. This was the worst. No offense to North Face. If you're watching this, oh my up. I hope you're not, because I love you guys. I swear to God, this is not a school backpack. At least it's not a college backpack, because it just didn't fit anything. You literally could barely hold anything in it. It was so narrow. There wasn't enough space to hold all the books I needed and my laptop and writing utensils and stuff like that. It was a struggle to put things into that backpack, and it was a struggle to get them out. That backpack was expensive and not practical at all for me, at least for college. The backpacks that I would recommend are JanSport ones. They come in so many different sizes, usually have multiple pockets, which is very nice for organizational purposes. They're huge, you can fit a lot of things in them, can't go wrong, and they're way more affordable than the North Face one that I got. I think that was literally $100. Besides the JanSport ones, I also love my Herschel backpack that I have right now. It's the one that I got in this what's in my backpack / school supplies haul video. I'll use it forever. It's now just like a travel bag for me. I used this backpack for 2 years for college. My only con for this is that it only has like one main big compartment. It doesn't have any storage within that, if you know what I mean. There's no more like compartments or pockets. It just has the main, and then it has like the little front compartment. The next on my worst things that I bought for college are textbooks from the bookstore. Let me start this by saying, if you are required to buy a textbook because it comes with an access code that you will then use to do your homework, like on Pearson, that doesn't count. Those are expensive and you have to bite the bullet because you have to do your homework, because, you know, why wouldn't you have to pay to do homework for the class you're paying to take at the school that you're paying to attend. You know? This is for any other just like standalone textbook that doesn't come with an access code. That's what I'm talking about here. When I was a freshman in college, I got the email from the bookstore. And if you guys are college students or incoming freshmen, you know what I'm talking about. The bookstore at your school will send you an email and it'll say your required textbooks for the semester are available now for purchase or something like that. I was shocked. I was shocked initially when I went in there and I saw how much all of these required textbooks were. Me not knowing anything, I was like, well, if it says they're required, that means they're required. So I bought all of them before school started. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was buying all of them from the bookstore, but we'll get to that. What I would recommend here, instead of doing that, is don't buy your textbooks until you go to class on the first day. Even if it says it's required on there, it might not be. Wait until you go on the first day before you buy your textbooks. Also, all of the information about it should be in your syllabus, which you should either have electronically or get on the first day. Go onto Amazon, go onto Chegg, search the internet for these books before buying them from the bookstore, because there is a really good chance you can find one of your textbooks either that you can rent from like Amazon or Chegg, or you could buy used from Amazon or Chegg or whatever. Or sometimes you can even find an ebook somewhere online for so much less than the bookstore is charging you. The bookstore is ripping you off. I hate to say it, but someone has to say it. It's a ripoff. So in my last couple years of college, Chegg and Amazon Prime Student were my life when it came to getting my textbooks. When I could find them on those websites, they were less expensive than they were at the bookstore, probably 9 times out of 10. The next thing I have for the worst category, I wrote too much room decor, not for walls. What I mean by this is anything that I bought for my dorm rooms that was for decor purposes, but not functional and took up floor space or took up area on my desk. If you buy like decor that you can hang on the walls, fair play, because I've talked about this before with like small space organization. You want to use your wall space as much as you can. The more things that you're putting either on the floor or decorations you're putting on your desk, you're taking up area that you could use to actually like do work, or that you could put something more useful there, like storage. You know what I mean? I made the mistake, especially my freshman year, of buying too many things that were just for decor purposes, not for storage, not functional. Some of the things I didn't even use. Like I brought them the first day for move-in and I'm like, I don't even have room for this stuff because it's taking up too much space. I need that space for other things. You're living in a very confined space. You need to be smart about what you're buying in general, but specifically for decorating. You can still make your dorm cute, do not get me wrong at all, but there's a way to do it so that you're not taking up a ridiculous amount of space with stuff that is useless. This next one may shock people. That's a bit dramatic. The next thing I wrote is Tide Pods. And let me explain. When I had to do laundry, when I lived at school, laundry was expensive. To do one round of laundry, which is to wash and dry 1 load of clothing and 1 load of towels, it was $7. So I was trying to do as much laundry in each load as I could. By that, I mean, I was not separating colors and the whites. I wasn't doing it. I was like, this is too expensive. Because of that, I did all of my clothing always on cold so that the colors wouldn't bleed or whatever. And then I dried it not on, I think it was on like medium maybe. So that worked for me in keeping the whites white and the colors colorful. But there were a couple instances where some of my clothing items started getting ruined. It was because a Tide Pod wouldn't like dissolve all the way in the washing process. And then when I was transferring the clothes from the washer to the dryer, I didn't realize that there was the remnants of a Tide Pod package outer coating stuck to some of my clothes because I didn't even think to look for that. You know what I mean? So then I would just dry the clothes, and then when I would get back to my room and fold them, I would see that some of my clothes were ruined because a Tide Pod had dried on my clothes. This happened with, for example, a pair of jeans that used to be my literal favorite pair of jeans. A Tide Pod got dried onto them and ruined them. The reason I was using Tide Pods in the first place was for convenience, because they were just, you just took them out of the thing and you threw them in there. That's it. After this happened, after I realized that the fact that I washed all of my clothes on cold together, maybe it wasn't able to dissolve the Tide Pods properly. Maybe there was an instruction on the Tide Pods container that told me that and I didn't read. After I thought about it and I came to the conclusion that that may be the issue, I was like, okay, I'll use regular detergent, like the liquid stuff. A miracle happened. After that, my clothes didn't get ruined by Tide Pods anymore. So that was a mistake that I made for 2 years. All right, so the last thing that I have in the worst category is having too many snacks at once. I had a snack bin, like a big plastic bin only for snacks, and I would buy a bunch of things at the beginning of the year. It would be like a few months down the line, I would only eat like the same 2 or 3 things. So I had all of these snacks that I bought thinking in good faith that I was going to eat them, and they just were wasted. So my recommendation here is to only buy 1 or 2 snacks at a time, eat those, and then buy new ones when you're out, like a normal person. I don't know why I was hoarding snacks. Looking back at it, I probably look like those people who were hoarding toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, so those are some of the worst things that I bought for college. A very short list. I'm sure that if I really sat and thought about it, I could find more small things that were worst purchases, but those are the ones that really jumped out at me. And now we can finally get into the best things that I bought for college. The first thing on this list is my MacBook Pro. My laptop, my first ever laptop. I bought her with my own money right after I graduated from high school. I had her for 4 years, all throughout college. I started my YouTube channel on that laptop. It was the MacBook Pro 2017 13-inch. That laptop came everywhere with me. That laptop was the backbone of my life. My life was on there. We went through everything together. That was probably the best purchase to this day that I've ever made. I ended up getting a new laptop just about like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, just as an upgrade so that I could have something faster for, you know, editing bigger projects now that my videos, I've been making longer videos. But that laptop still works. I'm just giving it to my grandma so that she can use it. It was a bit of a splurge for me. I believe it was around $1,200 or $1,300 when I bought it. It was worth every penny. Splurging on a laptop for college is worth it, in my opinion and in my experience, because you are taking that laptop everywhere with you. You're doing all of your work on it. Make sure that you get one that will withstand your whole time in school. Going along with that, 2 other of the best things I bought for college were a spare phone charger and a spare laptop charger, and I kept both of those things in my backpack at all times, because if you're in class or if you're out doing work somewhere or whatever, you don't want your phone to die and you don't want your laptop to die. Getting spares of both of those things and keeping them in your backpack, very important. The next thing that I have under the best things I bought for college is this very specific mattress topper. It was pricey, but oh my god, she was comfortable. She was thick. I used this mattress topper my sophomore year in my dorm, and then my brother just finished his freshman year at his college and he used my mattress topper too. The reason that I bought this mattress topper in the first place is because my freshman year, I didn't understand that buying just the cheapest one that I could find wasn't going to cut it. I didn't understand that. So I bought the cheapest one that I could find, and I'm not kidding, like 2 months into my freshman year, there was a massive like indent, and it wasn't thick, it wasn't comfortable. I just felt like I was laying directly on the school mattress. Your bed is your sanctuary at college a lot of the time. It's where you go to feel at peace, to feel relaxed, to feel comfortable. You don't want to be laying on something that's just uncomfortable and doesn't even make you want to be there. You know what I mean? Investing in a good mattress topper is very important in my opinion. I couldn't recommend it enough. The next thing, as I said, this is not sponsored, but Amazon Prime student. It is about half the cost of regular Prime and you get all the same benefits. I rented a lot of my textbooks through there. You also get free 2-day shipping. This sounds like an ad. I swear to God it's not. I just think that Amazon Prime as a college student was such a good move. My sophomore year, I would literally Amazon Prime so many things to my dorm. If I wasn't able to get out and go to a store around me and get them, I could just get anything, and it was so convenient. I was literally getting texts from my mailroom almost every day that I had packages coming. Next, on the best things I bought for college, a planner. You're probably thinking to yourself, you know, that's obvious. We knew that. Not everyone has a planner. Riddle me that. They're inexpensive and you need one. You just do. I literally don't care. I said this in my college essentials video 3 years ago. I don't care if you think you have the best memory on planet Earth and you don't need to write things down because you'll just remember everything. No, you won't. You won't. Even if you do have the best memory in the world, a planner is good not only just for writing down due dates and when things are happening, but I used my planner to schedule out when I was going to complete my tasks in order to have them done before the due date so that I could stay ahead of them. I did a whole video on how I stayed organized in college, and I also did a video on how I got good grades. So I'm pretty sure that I talked about that whole method in those videos, but you can get a planner freaking anywhere. There are tons of cute ones. Getting my new planner for the school year was one of my favorite parts of back to school shopping. It made me inspired to be organized for the upcoming year. There's no downside to having a planner. There's not, I can't think of one. There's only good things. Only good things can come from that. The next best thing that I bought for myself for college was a pair of AirPods. AirPods or wireless headphones in general, game changer. Just simply for convenience. Being able to pop your wireless earbuds in and like throw your phone in your bag or walk away from your phone if you were like maybe talking on the phone and you didn't want to carry your phone around with you, or if you were at the gym or something, you can just walk around with them all the time, which when I was walking around campus, I was always listening to my music. I would say that those were a really good purchase. It just was so much more convenient. That's really all it comes down to is it was so much more convenient. In college, convenience is key. College makes your life hard enough. So if you're not finding ways to make your life easier, you should be. Next on the list is lights for your dorm. I used Christmas lights, the ones with the white cord, and I hung them on the walls of my dorms because the overhead light in my dorm rooms, both freshman and sophomore years, was just horrendous. It was just hideous. The vibe, it was just very cold. It was giving me prison vibes. I wanted my room to feel cozy and inviting and like a safe space for me. Just the Christmas lights you can get at the store. I put those up and plugged those in whenever I needed light, and it just was so much cozier. I always say my room is my sanctuary, and that applies no matter where I am, whether I'm here in my room at home or when I was at school. I tried to make my room feel as comfortable and peaceful as possible because my room felt that way. It directly influenced my mindset. All right, the next thing I wrote on here is having an entire medicine drawer. I'm not kidding by this. I had every possible first aid thing that I would need. I had ibuprofen and acetaminophen. I had Pamprin for period cramps. I had cold remedies, emergency or whatever. I also had all the vitamins and stuff I took. So I had zinc in there. I had vitamin C in there, cough medicine, band-aids in there. I had other first aid shit like that. Like I had Neosporin. I had the alcohol wipes. So anytime I had any issue, whether it was like a headache or a stomach ache or I cut myself on something, I don't know, I had all the tools that I needed right there for myself. And me being over prepared actually ended up helping other people because some of my roommates didn't have like pain meds or they didn't have band-aids or whatever. If they ever had an issue that they needed, they knew to come to me because I had an entire medicine cabinet, an entire pharmacy, if you will, in my, I had Dayquil, I had NyQuil, literally I had an entire pharmacy in my drawer. This is the last thing on my list for the best things I bought for college. This is a really simple thing to end on. Probably could have made it more exciting, but slippers. A nice, comfy, warm pair of slippers. I just preferred walking around the dorm in slippers. Even in my own room, I would always have slippers on. Freshman year, I bought a pair of slippers and then I wore the absolute fuck out of them. Got rid of them at the end, and then sophomore year, bought a new pair, wore the absolute fuck out of them. Got rid of them. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me that's weird about walking on the floor in spaces like that, just barefoot or like even sometimes with socks, because I would walk around and my socks would get so fucking dirty. I was like, ew. But especially in a dorm building, if you're living in an actual like on-campus dorm building, you need slippers. I promise. You just do. I would recommend just getting a pair of inexpensive ones so that after you wear the absolute fuck out of them, you can just toss them and get a new pair. I lived in my slippers. I think that they were really like more of an emotional support item for me. You know, people have their emotional support pets, or they have their emotional support blankets or water bottles or whatever. I had emotional support slippers. I'm just realizing that now. I think that's what it was for me. Okay, that's it. That's my list of my best and worst purchases that I made that were college related. I just feel left out. I feel left out of the back to school stuff. So I feel like I want to keep making videos from a graduate perspective, post-grad life, or specific things about college that now that I've graduated, looking back on, like I could answer maybe with some more clarity. If you guys have any other videos like that you guys would be interested in seeing from me, feel free to leave them down below because I don't want to leave you hanging completely without any college content. It's killing me. And with that, that is gonna be the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you've stayed until this point in the video, comment down below, I'm a real one, because you're a real one. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I post a new video every Sunday. If you forget that I post a new video every Sunday, or if you just want to get notified right when a new video drops, make sure you turn on my post notifications for my channel. It's a little bell icon so that you never miss an upload and you get notified right when I post a new video. I think that's it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.